My name is Joel CV, and from the ages of 13 to 19, I used to be addicted to porn and masturbation. But as of today, I'm a year and 11 months clean, or let's say 2 years clean completely, just 3 days ago. And I've been through the whole cycle of shame, guilt, self-hatred, self-disgust, emptiness, feeling disgusting and everything. And I know the feeling of what it's like to be addicted to this addiction, to be constantly enslaved, constantly feeling controlled by this addiction. And today I'll show you how I got to where I am, which is 2 years clean, and how you can do it for yourself too. Before getting to the video, I made a free ebook showing the exact steps, going completely deep, very in-depth guide of how I went from 7 years addiction to 2 years clean from porn and masturbation. And if you want the guide, comment guide in the comment section and I'll send you the link. And also I'm building something that can help Christian men go from porn and masturbation addicts to purposeful and ambitious men. If you want to be part of that program, I'm doing 100 direct message interviews. If you want to be part of it, it's completely free. Reach out to me on X, formerly known as Twitter, and we can have that conversation. So let's get into the video. So I've been addicted. I know what it's like to be enslaved to porn, masturbation, feeling controlled by urges, not knowing what it's like, not knowing how to even quit, constantly being enslaved, being controlled, feeling depressed, feeling shameful, feeling empty. Nobody even knowing what's going on, only you and God. You just keep doing it year after year, day after day, week after week, and years go by before you know, from you're 10 when you started doing it, now you're 25, 27, 30. You're having a spouse, you're still watching porn and masturbating, you're addicted constantly. You cannot go a day without it. I know what it's like. You may have been addicted for more years than I was addicted for 7 years, but even though I still know what it's like, I still know what it's like to be rock bottom. I still know what it's like. But by the grace of God, I'm 2 years clean. And most of you think that's impossible to have, think that's impossible to achieve. There's no way, but I am 2 years clean, 2 years free from porn and masturbation by God's grace and His grace alone. And today I'll show you how you can do it and how I did it myself through God's grace. So the first thing I did was I quit trusting in myself and I started trusting in God's grace. What does this mean? So basically, I thought I could do it by myself. I would try harder, use more willpower, do everything I knew I could do. I believed that I could quit by myself if I just had enough willpower, if I just said no enough times, if I just ran away enough times. But eventually, I would always come back to the same thing. I may be 2 weeks clean, maybe 3 weeks clean, maybe sometimes even rarely 1 month clean. But eventually, one way or the other, I will still fall, make a mistake, and come back to the same addiction at the same place, square one, all over again, and repeat the whole cycle continuously for 7 freaking years. Not knowing how to even get out. I will repeat the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And it all came down to me trusting myself and believing that, yes, I can do it. But in reality, I cannot. Romans 7 verse 15 says that, for I do the things I do not want to do, and the things I hate, I continue doing. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to continue watching porn at 3 a.m. in the morning. I did not want to look up the different freaking subgenres of porn, going into crazy stuff. Why? I could not help myself. I kept doing it every time, falling every time, hitting myself even more every time. And you may feel the same way too. You may be constantly trying, but you think you can do it, but you can't. If you could do it, you wouldn't be watching this video now. That is proof enough. You've been addicted for the past 10, 15 years. That's proof enough that you cannot do it by yourself. I need help. And I cannot help you. I'm just a human being like you. The only person that can help you is God, Jesus Christ. You can only receive this help by acknowledging that you need help from Him. And yes, you know that you cannot do this by yourself. And you need His help to overcome this addiction. That's the only way you can go from what you are now to living a purposeful and ambitious porn-free life. That's what happened for me. I had to surrender my pride, my ego, that I could do by myself, and recognize that I can't and I need help. That was how I got to two years clean currently now. It's even unbelievable as I'm saying it, but I'm 2 years clean and some days now, and I'm still going strong. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing was transforming my mind. These last 2 steps. First of all, it's safe to know this addiction starts at the thoughts. It doesn't start from the actions, you abstaining, you consuming. It all starts from the mind and what you feed your mind. The thoughts are the root of this addiction, porn and masturbation. Lustful thoughts will bleed into lustful actions, hence your addiction of porn and masturbation. You keep consuming lustful stuff, erotic stuff, online conversations, in the movies you watch, in the music videos, in any form of media, you keep consuming erotic content. Of course, your brain will produce erotic thoughts, which will eventually lead you to porn and masturbation. So these are 2 steps. I had to cut out the erotic stuff I was consuming. I had to cut it out. The movies with the sex scenes, the music videos with the almost nude women and models and other stuff. Me consuming OnlyFans models content on Instagram, on YouTube, the conversations I would be having, the fantasies that I had in my head, those things were feeding my thoughts and making my thoughts purely erotic. So I had to cut the consumption of them, and I had to start consuming the right stuff in my brain, getting into my world more, consuming stuff that can actually move my life forward, that can actually help me bettering myself, stuff like that, learning, actually building a useful skill set, things that can actually impact and have meaning on my life, having useful conversations on how I can move forward in my life, become a better person, educate myself. Those were the things I started doing. I started inputting in my brain. That over time, and it does not happen instantly. It will take some time for your brain to be accustomed to the new things that you're feeling. But eventually, almost all those erotic thoughts will be erased. And that's just how it is. So that's the second thing I did. The third thing I did, or let's say fourth thing, was being consistent. I was not getting proud. I was not feeling like, I'm 3 months clean. I can do anything I want. I can do whatever I can watch whatever I want. I can stay up how late I want, consuming all the erotic content. I was not proud. I knew how bad I had been down with this addiction, and I did not want to go back. And I kept acknowledging that yes, me being 3 months clean, 7 months clean, a year and 5 months clean, 2 years clean, some of my own strengths by God's grace. And I wanted to keep staying that way. So I kept doing the same things that got me there. Cutting out the bad habits, doing the good habits, feeding my brain with the right kind of content, and removing anything that contradicts that kind of thing that I'm doing. So that's how I got to where I am. Currently now I'm 2 years clean, after being addicted for 7 years to porn and masturbation, feeling the guilt, the hatred, the emptiness, the shallowness, disgusting feeling, the feeling of no self-control, being enslaved. I'm 2 years free from that, and that's how I did it. And I feel that if you resonate properly, and if you just take this advice, you can also be there too. And even if you think it's not possible, you can also be 2 years clean and a lot more years clean, and live a purposeful and ambitious porn-free life without this addiction. If you just listen and humble yourself and humble your heart and trust what I'm saying. Don't just take my word for it. And I'm not saying I'm the one responsible for your transformation, even my own. It's all God's work. That's the whole thing. So, like, subscribe, comment guide for the free in-depth PDF of me covering the exact steps that got me from 7 years of addiction to porn and masturbation to 2 years of living a purposeful and ambitious porn-free life. And I'm also doing some research. I'm building a program to help Christian men go from porn and masturbation addicts to purposeful and ambitious men. And I'm doing a research program of 100 direct outreach message interviews. And if you want to be a part of that, you can reach out to me on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can hit me up. It's completely free, no charges, no nothing. Just 2 guys discussing about how the addiction has affected your life, your relationships, your mental health, and what can be done about it. Seems like you, hit me up. Link in the description. X, formerly known as Twitter, and you can have a conversation. So till then, I'll see you in the next video. So trust God, not yourself. Cut out the bad habits, do the good habits, and be consistent. Peace.